Hey everyone, welcome back to Are You Serious? So, as an American who has lived in the Middle East for part of her life, I've been watching Foodie Beauty for a little while, and since this new foray to Kuwait, I've been paying extra attention. I never lived in Kuwait. I lived in a North African country, and so it's a little bit different. However, like the minute things are a little bit different. However, the culture overall is largely the same. So some things that I've noticed with Foodie Beauty and her portrayal of Kuwait is that a lot of things are inaccurate. And that could be, I don't know if she's just trying to portray the country in a very positive light, although she's not really a positive reflection on the country herself or a positive reflection on Canada, the visiting country, or um, maybe she's being told that things are a certain way where they're really not. It's really hard to say with her because she's kind of a complex person, yet at the same time very simple. So what I thought I would do is just go through some of her videos when she first started going to Kuwait. Now this is a video where she just started wearing hijab, and I have never listened to this video before because I got kind of turned off to the whole thing at this point. But I thought I do know a lot about this subject. I thought I would just go through and give you my thoughts. So let's see what she has to say.
Back to another video. Today's video, I will be talking about the hijab. I am hearing all over the internet the following.
Why do you have a hijab on your head?
So I'm here to answer your question. I want to first...
What I first want to say is that I don't like the tone. Going into this, I don't like the tone. It's very defensive. It's slightly hostile. A lot of people do have misconceptions about hijab and what it is, what it means, when really it doesn't affect anyone but the person wearing it. So maybe she's feeling defensive because of that. But when you are wearing hijab, people recognize you as being Muslim. So even if you are feeling defensive, you have to try to remember that you are portraying the people of a certain religion of Islam. So, but she's a very new Muslim, correct? She's a revert. So let's continue.
Say, I realize that in parts of the world, women everywhere are fighting for the right to remove the hijab. Mm-hmm. There are women, and I fully acknowledge this, that are in situations that are abusive and they have no choice but to wear this. And for them, it is not a positive experience. On the other hand, in other parts of the world, such as France, there are women fighting hard to put back on the hijab. They see that banning the hijab, banning the burqa, is actually discriminatory and violates their human rights.
I agree with her up to this point, where she put some text in here that says enforces them to stay indoors. I haven't read that that's been happening. Here it is. Where in France that women are... Now, if you're not able to cover up and you are a Muslim woman, you would definitely... That's a big hardship not to be able to throw on a scarf and go grocery shopping. That would be a hardship. But, I don't know if I'm sure they've, resourcefulness, I'm sure that other things have been thought up to get around that. So it sounds like so far she's addressing the political aspect of wearing hijab. So let's see if she gets into what her reason is for wearing it.
I'm here to talk about my personal beliefs and experiences with the hijab. I can assure you, despite what everyone is saying online, that I wear this with the utmost respect and humbleness. I just think it will take people a while to adjust to my new changes because I change very quickly.
Now, Islam says that no one can judge what's in a person's heart but God. So I'm very hesitant to say that this isn't for real, that this isn't. Sometimes, I mean, many people come to the religion for many different reasons in many different ways. And if her reason was for views and clicks and, a new arc on the channel, but along the way she found her way to the true Islam, then I would say, Mabruk, congratulations, mashallah. But I know this was very early in her transformation. What just kind of struck me was that it's more of a cosplay, is that she wears it out of respect. Out of respect for whom? Out of respect for other Muslims, because other Muslims don't care. So if it's out of respect, I feel like that's speaking from, and I'm not Muslim, but I'm wearing this out of respect for you. To me, it's not like saying I'm Muslim and this is why I wear it. It shouldn't be about other Muslims. But
in all honesty, I don't communicate my inner deepest, most thoughts all times of the day with you guys, with the public. So there are a lot of internal changes that have been happening inside me. And when what it basically just comes down to, let me rewind. I have entered a serious relationship with a wonderful man.
Okay. So, I know on reaction channels, you're supposed to pause every so often, but I don't even need to remind myself of that, because what? This is the title of the video is, why are you wearing a hijab on your head? And now we're talking about the relationship that she just entered in. That should have nothing to do with why she's wearing hijab. Nothing. So it still hasn't addressed, and we're not even 2 minutes in on a 7.5-minute video, so I'll just let her talk.
Who comes from an Islamic nation, and out of respect and devotion to one man, I choose to wear this.
Okay. Now, I guess I'm going to speak as how someone who has truly reverted to Islam would be viewing wearing hijab in general. Obviously, everyone has slightly different reasons. Respect and devotion, wearing the hijab, should be for God, not for some man that you met on the internet. Now, if you're remaining a Christian, and maybe, if you're going to his country where a lot of women are covered, and you throw on a scarf out of respect for the culture, that's fine. That's totally fine. But devotion to a man, like a living, breathing, fallible man here on planet Earth, if that's the reason to put on a scarf, that would be for the wrong reason.
In respect for myself, respect for my partner, respect for his culture.
I still haven't heard respect for God or devotion to God.
And I am not being forced to wear this. I wear this as my own choosing. And I chose this the moment I tried it on, actually. There's something that transformed in me the moment I put on the hijab. That's why the change was so instantaneous. It's almost as if I've opened up a new door, a new world. I feel comforted. I feel calm. I feel more respectful towards myself. I feel like my energy is protected. I feel like my bubble is protected. I feel like less people are going to approach me in my bubble. I feel more reserved. I feel more calm.
Okay, so I feel that for Chantal, so far, the hijab is a cover for her. It's covering her. And if wear what you want, be free with yourself. Whatever works for you, works for you. I've seen a lot of her cleavage out in the past. Not whatever, that's, People are free to do what they want to do. I definitely don't sit in any judgment of anybody. If she feels that being more covered is showing more respect for herself and that other people are respecting her more, that just could be because she's covering her bits and covering her, she's always worn, like, since she lost her hair, she's always worn like a cap or, something on her head in general, especially when she goes out. So if, that's basically what this is, except you're going to have a little more draping down here. And when you are wearing hijab, it's not just about the headscarf. Down here would be covered, like it is covered, but like, so where she's still saying that more respect for herself, she's getting more respect from others. To me, that's just about being covered.
And this is why I like to wear this hijab, out of respect for my partner, as a symbol to my devotion to him, as well as my devotion to becoming a more respectful, humble, modest person and woman.
Okay. Again, that's Muslimas wear hijab, and Muslima is a woman, a female Muslim. Muslimas wear hijab because of God. Period. So I'm hearing a lot of other reasons. And, it can have those other effects as well. But the devotion, and honestly, Salah, as a Muslim man, would want her to wear it for God, not for him. It's not about him. It shouldn't be about him. There are many Muslim women across the world married to Muslim men who don't cover, who don't wear hijab, who don't cover their bosom, who have their cleavage out. That doesn't make them any less Muslim, in my opinion. Only God knows what's in your heart. And it doesn't mean that she respects her husband any less or is devoted to her husband any less. So I get what you guys are saying now about the cosplay. I'm starting to understand.
So there are a lot of misconceptions about the hijab.
True.
So I did a little bit of research on my own because I did feel a little bit guilty at first. Like, am I allowed to wear this? What's going on? The cat hair, but I have a lot of cats and black and cat hair. No bueno. So I found a website called Hijab, and it's a hijab shopping website. And the CEO actually answered this question very, very thoroughly. If I'm not Muslim, can I wear a hijab? And a lot of the points made sense. So I'll just read a little bit of it for you. Somebody asked, this is an advice column, somebody asked, I just recently became interested in hijabs. I've always found them beautiful and exuding such class and have been thinking of wearing one. For the most part, I dress relatively modestly, and then the person replied, thank you for reaching out. You might be surprised to learn that we get asked this question a lot. God prescribed hijab and modest dress for Muslims just as he did the Jews and Christians before us. That's actually true. If you look at the Virgin Mary, her head is completely covered. Mm-hmm. As I'm sure you know, Christians used to cover their hair, but the practice has been long abandoned. This is in obedience to 1 Corinthians 11.5, which says, every woman who prays with her head uncovered dishonors her head, for that is one and the same as if her head were shaved. So they all...
And that's out of the Bible.
Also say Muslims do not own the head covering. It is a mandate that predates Islam. By the same token, Islam was revealed by God to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, for all of mankind, not for any one person or type of people. If any Muslim is offended by you wearing hijab, it is due to their own error and not rooted in Islam. Our goal at Hijab is to promote modesty in dress and actions, not only to head covering. If you wear the headscarf inconsistently, that is your choice. Hopefully you get to a point where going out without the headscarf feels unnatural and you continue to wear it all the time. So this is, again, a personal choice. The emphasis is always on the choice. And again, I realize there are a lot of women who do not have a choice. There's a lot of women who are also fighting for the freedom to wear the hijab because they feel right. This is their way of devoting themselves to God. And it is wrong to tell somebody how they should feel, how they should dress, how they should feel in a certain attire. It's all personal. We all just want to feel good in our skin. I've actually toned down the makeup a lot too. I feel better, more natural without those huge lashes on my eyelashes. And this is, I don't have any foundation on or anything. Yes, I think my camera has some filters. I apologize. But I do have some lip gloss and lip liner on. I like this style. There's so many different shawls and abayas and styles to try. So I guess just a little bit about the history of the hijab. Hijabs were originally used, coverings were used in the deserts and things like that to protect people from the sun. So it became a practical thing, then religious. It's actually a practice that predates Islam, and it actually is used for many different reasons today. So again, anything I do in regards to the hijab and the changes I'm making, I'm very serious, and I know that time will tell this. And I appreciate you following me on my journey with much love and respect. So just in summary, I guess it just comes down to my personal choice, and I just feel good. I feel good wearing the hijab. Personally, me. So no, I'm not an instantaneously changed woman overnight. I see people trying to rub my past in my face. I understand that it's such a drastic change. But honestly, if we're really honest, it's a good one. I feel like it's a healthy change for me, spiritually, physically, emotionally, everything. Behind the scenes, of course, some of these lifestyle changes and bad habits I'm trying to get rid of. It is a little difficult, but at the same time, it's not as hard as I thought. I don't know, something just clicked in me, and I just feel different and better. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.
Okay, so basically what the point I got from this is that, because I don't think that she has reverted, and in this video at this time it was made, she hadn't reverted yet. She just started wearing hijab, and yeah, wearing it doesn't automatically make you Muslim. You can put a scarf on your head and wrap it in many different ways, different colors, whatever. It doesn't make you Muslim. And where she's saying it's out of respect for a culture, for her man that she's been chatting on the internet with, out of respect for him and gaining more self-respect, that's fine. I didn't hear her say that she's Muslim and that's why she's wearing it. So, but I can see why people looked a lot further into this. I can see why.